When it comes to making money in Tarkov, SCAV runs are insanely profitable and have no risk. And I don't mean those interchange runs where you have to memorize each and every loot location. I'm talking about factory. These are the ultimate zero risk runs that can be as short as 20 seconds. With this method, I find that I can make anywhere from 1 to 3 million rubles in an hour. Timestamps are in the description if you'd like to navigate around the video. Stick around and let's get into it. So starting right into the actual runs. For this video, I'll be showing you 3 routes that I take depending on where I spawn and how much money I need. Starting with the shortest of the runs, I typically reserve these runs for when I'm either completely broke or spawning with very valuable items such as labs cards, red flares, or just some good keys. Regardless of where I spawn, I will run immediately to my exfil. Typically, I do use camera bunker door, as this is the least contested area. If you have lower than 0 SCAV karma, you might not have access to this exfil, so you may just be limited to gate 3. However, most players should have this exit. Run number 2 is going to be the medium length run, typically no longer than a minute or 2. I'll usually do this run when I spawn around camera bunker door or med tents, and I will then run over towards the green crates. From med tent's side, there is a crate here by the dead SCAV building, and then on top of that building as well, right here. From there, you'll want to run over towards these staircases, where you'll have a gray weapon box right here. Then after looting that, you'll want to loot the 2 green boxes on top of this metal platform, then lastly loot the crate down underneath that platform. Then you can just run to camera bunker door, which is right under you. When doing this run, I typically find lots of suppressors, good ammo, and sometimes decent guns such as an SR-25 or something like that. You'll also sometimes find high-tier weapon parts, which can either be gunsmith parts or just general metagun parts that sell for a ton on the flea market. Now, the longest run of the 3. For this run, I typically run it when I'm either taking a break of PMC runs or I just want to get the most money and I don't have anything too valuable. Now, this route can be done from any spawn, but I'm going to show an example from near gate 0. When you spawn in, you'll want to loot all of the weapon boxes and green crates that we looted in the last run. However, this time, instead of running to camera bunker door, we're going to head into the office area. Under these stairs is another green box. From there, run up to the 3rd floor and enter the offices. Sometimes you need to be cautious as there could be PMCs still in raid. However, in my experience, I do rarely run into PMCs. Heading into the office, you'll want to loot the safe and the 2 jackets. Optionally, you can also loot these filing cabinets. However, I never find anything too good in them, so to me it's just a waste of time. From here, you'll want to head back downstairs to the 1st floor and head towards this duffel bag. After looting that, you'll want to loot this green crate and the 2 jackets above it. And lastly, head out towards this wooden area below the metal rafters. Outside of it, there are 2 more green boxes that you should loot. Head inside of the room, loot these 2 jackets, and then lastly loot this final green box. Now that you've hit all the good loot areas, head to your exit. I'd still suggest going to camera bunker door, but you can always go to office window or even gate 3. So to summarize which run would suit you the best. Run number 1, the shortest, is in my opinion best suited for people wanting to either have a quick raid, spawn in with something valuable, or just really need money super badly. Run number 2 is a solid in between. If you need money but don't have anything too valuable to risk, stick with this run. And lastly, run number 3 I'd say is best suited for people who either want to make the most money and don't mind risking running into players, or as a general loot run to use when also trying to find PMCs. Overall, each run makes very good money in my experiences, even when just running to your exit immediately. Now that we've discussed the runs, I do want to mention some drawbacks you could experience with these methods. The first big variable is SCAV rep. At 0 fence rep, you'll have a standard SCAV timer, which without any hideout modules considered is around 20 or so minutes. If your karma is into the negatives, it can be anywhere from 125% all the way to 600% longer, depending on how low you are. In my opinion, this method becomes significantly less efficient beyond -2 SCAV rep, however, it still does work as a run, you'll just not be able to run it nearly as frequently. The opposite is true the higher your SCAV karma gets. For me, who has max SCAV rep, I have only 50% of the original SCAV timer. It is also worth mentioning that Intel Center in the hideout can reduce the timer up to 35% at level 3, meaning that it is possible to run a SCAV almost indefinitely. In my case, by the time I get out of raid and sell everything, there's usually only about 2 to 3 minutes remaining on the timer. Now, one last variable I think could affect your raids as well is PvP. It's no secret that people love to kill friendly scavs, or you might even just run into a PMC that's still in raid. In my experiences, running straight to exfil has an almost 100% survival rate, and typically merits me decent money regardless of if I have anything great or not. Beyond that, I think most player scavs on Factory tend to just avoid others as much as possible. Now, it's not out of the question that you could still get shot by them, but I'd say maybe 1 in 15 raids I die to a player scav killing me. But it is definitely frustrating, and you should try and avoid that if you want to make money, of course. So I think that's all there is to know about this money-making method. Is this the run you'll try in the future, or do you already use this? Let me know in the comments. Take a look at this video on screen about underrated budget loadouts, or you can try this one about how to kill the new rogue bosses on customs. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.